And I think we're up and running. Looks good. Okay. Come on again, nobody here, just me. Okay, good morning, gang. Okay, a bit of a mixed session this morning. We've got 2 or 3 small jobs to do. First one's going to be some embossing. And this is a new one. Not embossing, I mean, but this particular name set is a new one. Papers out, yes, thank you. Two today. Here in Japan now it is a long weekend. It's a 3-day holiday weekend. It's the first day of a 3-day long weekend. It's a culture day on Sunday. So they made Monday into a holiday as well. So a lot of the printers are off, family stuff. So today upstairs it'll be Ishikawa-san. Her husband is out for work, so there's no family activities for them. And Dei-chan, she's doing, what is she doing? I can't remember. Oh, yeah. Dei-chan is doing the print. I'm going to show you when I finish the embossing. I'll be showing you something else. So Dei-chan is doing that print. She's partway through it. I'm fixing one of the blocks for her. This is embossing, but it's a bit different. Let me get this going, and I'll show you what it is once I get started and running here. The print I'm embossing is one of the Ukiyo-e Heroes ones. We ran out of this one, 2 souls entwined. It's not really a strong seller for us. We perhaps shouldn't have made the investment in making it because it's probably never going to recoup its initial investment. But we're up and running with it. So I've made a new jushiban, a new polymer plate for this, because there's a new printer. This is one of the first jobs being done for us by a new printer who's come on board with us, or who is coming on board with us. Let me get the edges of this taper down. The edges of this were too sharp, and if I hit them with the barrel, it leaves a mark on the paper. So carving plastic with this knife, but whatever, it's okay. Okay, let's do a test here. It's a spoiled copy. We can use this as a first test. Yeah, okay, now let's get this so you can see it, because this is a new name combination we're going to have to introduce to you. Can we get in there? Okay, here we go. It is hori, which means carving, and Kawasaki. And this is not new. Kawasaki-san's been working for us for years now. She's been doing many of the subscription prints. And the printing, it says suri, which is printing, and it says suri taro. Suri taro. Slow frame rates. I have drop frame 0 kilobits per second, 4,000. Everything is okay at this end. My fan is running, it's warm, but the data is leaving this computer. Not sure what might be going on, I'm sorry. Seems okay at this end, John. There's no drop frames at all. My Wi-Fi, yep, totally okay. Again, Suri Taro. We've got our stable of printers here. There's Kubota-san, Yamamoto-san, Suga-san, Kanai-san, Kawai-san. Suri Taro, this is a made-up name. This person does not exist. Why am I doing this? Why am I putting a non-existent printer's name on some of our real prints? Why am I doing this? A few years ago, when Kubota-san started working for us, that's, I don't know, 5, 6 years ago, he was actually moonlighting. He was working for another company, another publisher, as a salaried employee. And here in Japan, moonlighting is very, very much frowned upon. So while Kubota-san was working with another company still, doing some work for us as a kind of a side thing, working at home in the evenings, he asked me, Dave, don't ever put my name on the prints, because if my boss finds out about it, I am dead meat. Or he would be in trouble anyway. So we left his name off. I really regret doing this now. We published a bunch of Heroes prints, the Mike Rickshaw Cart print, and we didn't put the craftsman's name on, because he was really adamant, I don't want my name on those things. So we put a bunch of prints out without any names on. And I really regret doing that, because 100 years from now, 50 years from now, people are finding these things. There's one of Dave's Ukiyo Heroes prints. It's got no name on it. It must be a forgery. Whatever. We've told the story, so maybe we can make sure the information is out there for people who are going to get confused later on. We know the number range that has that. Anyway, this time around, it's a similar story. The printer who did these things, he is still a full-time employee of another company. He wants to work for us. He's not trusting me enough that he wants to quit over there and come over here full-time. He can't take the risk of doing that. We're in the same position, and this time I do not want to put them out with no craftsman's names on. So what we've done is we've made up a name for him. Suri Taro is an imaginary name. It's just like saying Joe Blow or something like this. And what we'll do is when he does finally come over here, we will switch to his real name, and we will then blog and talk about what we've actually done. So in the future, people who see these things, Suri Taro, they will know that that is Mr. name that I'm not allowed to tell you at the moment. So that's the background. So it's a bit of a funny situation. Suri Taro doesn't exist, but we're putting his name on this new batch of prints. And the fact that he has agreed to do this, to test with us, we're trying him out, we know he can print. He's trying us out. All of his friends, other people who worked at the same company. There's a bunch of them here at Mokuhankan already. Suga-san, Yamamoto-san, Chiharu-san, Kubota-san. They all came from that same company. So he knows, he's talked to them. He knows that we're okay. But he and I are just sort of testing each other out. He's done a really good job, of course. He's a total professional. So here we are. Maybe this little batch will be quite rare in the future when he's, 100 years from now when all this stuff has been, chatted about by researchers and stuff. Maybe this particular little batch of prints might be very rare. Who knows? Suri Taro, the mystery name of the Mokuhankan early days. But I do really regret sending those other prints out. There was a couple of hundred of them. And they went out with no name. But he was adamant, don't ever please put my name on the prints. I like the idea, but no. My boss will kill me. We've got a few people here working at Mokuhankan who are moonlighting, in the shop actually too. One of the girls who's coming today to work in the shop on Saturday, she's moonlighting. She's a salaryman. What do you call it when it's a woman? Salarywoman. We don't say that. She's a full-time employer at a full-time employee of a major company. And she comes here on the weekend, Saturday. She likes us so much, she sacrifices one of her own days off just to come here and work. Yeah, you're saying like in 100 years you won't care, but actually the researchers and people who pick these things apart really do care. There's a whole genre of research on the early Shinhanga prints, the early Watanabe publications and stuff like this. And although the general public couldn't care less about this sort of things, the researchers look at these prints, they measure, that one has a 6mm seal, this one has a 7mm seal, that must have been made in 1932, stuff like that. There's a whole genre of research on such things. And these prints, given enough this passage of time, will be also studied in that same way. So wherever possible, we're leaving a trail about this. Over the years, whenever I've done stuff like this, I've blogged about it, so that somewhere the information is out there. Well, this lady isn't an office lady, actually. An office lady is sort of an office lady is an employee, but on a very, everybody knows there's no career path there. It's not someone who is going to be anything more than an office lady until she gets married and gone. The lady I'm talking about working here, she's actually on a career path. She's up in the middle management in this company. And there's no way she would be allowed to moonlight. Absolutely no way. Soka, what's Watanabe-san doing these days? They had that Heisei edition thing they were doing. I don't know what they've done. I've got no contact with those people at all. We don't use their blocks. We don't talk to them. There's no problem between us, but just I don't know them at all. We know each other. I say hello when I meet him, but we have no business work with Watanabe at all. John. It's funny, I offered her a job, and this is a lady who came here to do a print party one day. She was a Japanese lady who had some visitors coming from overseas, so she had hunted around for an activity to do in Tokyo with her overseas guests. She found the Mokohankan thing, the print party, booked into it, so she came here one day. This is a year, I don't even know, 2 years ago now. She came with her overseas guests for a print party, and I was so impressed. Her English was good, she was smart, she looked cool, she did a good job in the party. And this was when I was, one of the moments when I was really struggling. So after the party was over, I took her aside a little bit and said, might you be interested in joining us? I don't know anything about you, or if you're working or free or whatever, but could you consider coming to talk to me about a job here or something? And she just giggled and said, sorry, but I actually have a pretty good job I'm happy with. And she mentioned her company, and it is a very, very rich, very, very wealthy. So she may be doing okay inside that company. But, so she laughed and said no. But she said, could I come and talk and whatever? So she did, and she's here doing most Saturdays with us. If you saw the blog post or the Insta post Cameron made yesterday, about the flowers. She, as an employee here, she sent those congratulatory flowers yesterday. That's how much of a kind lady she is. She's an employee here now, but still sent those flowers. Yeah, the corporate ladder thing. We chatted with her about this, do you have any future over there? And she thinks she does. She's not ready to abandon that place. So a lot of Japanese companies these days are giving quite a lot of, they're paying attention to this issue, of using the other half of the workforce properly. So she thinks she's okay over there. Whether or not she can become company president or not, whatever, but she feels she has, they use her work, she has challenging job, respected well, she says. We don't have a whole lot. There's only about 10 more, so don't. This is not going to take all morning. I've got about 10 more sheets to do Then we'll move on to some carving work. So the shirt, it's the shirt that was given to me. We talked about this. I put it on Facebook, I guess, yesterday. If you haven't seen our Facebook page, you wouldn't know about this. But long story short, some English rugby fans were here for a print party a few weeks ago in the early days of the tournament. And whatever, we had a good fun print party. And during the print party, our young boy, Yamada-san, who was one of the hosts helping me here, he had mentioned that he's getting, he's buying rugby shirts, and he had tried to buy an England rugby shirt here in Japan, but they were all totally sold out. So the English, one of the English people in the print party said, okay, I can maybe take care of that. And we're like, don't worry about it. Maybe we got a package, it was yesterday morning or 2 days ago in the afternoon. Package comes from Britain. This guy has gone online, he's ordered two, unknown to me, he's ordered two official authorized laser engraved, laser engraved price tag official rugby t-shirts, and he has gone to the trouble of putting our names on. These things are expensive. We looked it up. This is $120. This guy's just casually sent these off to us. So we have to do some really serious thank you to him when we get settled here. Yamada-san is just gobsmacked by this. Oh my God, look what this man has done, So this is really so cool. I know I'm not a sports fan. I don't even know the rules of rugby beyond what one can guess from watching it for a few minutes. But hey, I am English, and they're in the final, and here we are, so. But there's a funny experience yesterday. I had this on yesterday afternoon, 2 days in a row for the same shirt. This is living dangerously, but it's okay. I had this on yesterday afternoon, and I was standing outside the shop, just watching the traffic go by, watching the people walk by. And I was standing out there, and a guy came out of the hotel across the street, and he was in a red one. And the only other people are red, it must be a Wales supporter. And he looked kind of, UK type, whatever it was. So he came across the street and walked past me. He didn't come in the shop or anything, but it's really, this was in the afternoon before the Wales game yesterday. And England's in the final, and Wales is in the battle for third place. It was all finished last night, but at this time it wasn't done. So my team is going to be number 1 or 2, and his team is going to be 3 or out. And I know nothing about rugby, but I've got the white shirt on, he's got the red shirt on. We come across, and I smile with a superior smile, and he smiles with a sort of, all right, don't rub it in. And I know nothing about this, Human beings are so funny, this tribal thing. Hontoni, this tribal thing is bizarre. You put on a shirt and your mindset changes, I am better than he is, and all that kind of stuff. My God, it's strange. We are never, ever going to be able to live in peaceful coexistence on this planet. Never. It's just right down deep in the DNA. I'm rooting for laundry. I guess so. I mean, in the case of those UK teams, the England and Wales and whatever, I guess most of the players actually, again, I'm just hypothesizing, most of the players are really from England and Wales. The Japanese team, what was the percentage? I guess 2/3 or so are Japanese, and the other third are from Tonga and Samoa and places like that, I guess. But I would imagine the UK teams are pretty much homegrown. I don't know too much about it. But, is this the same piece I was doing last week? No. This is a print job that has been finished by one of our printers, or one of our hired printers. It's not a man who's a full-time employee here at Mokankan. The man who printed this is an outside contractor for us. He's a professional ukiyo-e printer, and for us, he's working at home doing this job. finish in what, 2 minutes, so we'll get on to something that you haven't seen before. So hang on tight, those of you who are regular viewers. It's not going to be embossing all day long here. Rooting for laundry, funny, man, funny. Yeah, the loyalty thing about nations, you know, for me, what should I do? You know, I was born in Britain. I don't remember it from that time. Lived there for 5 years, then the family emigrated to Canada, which I do remember. I was there for 30 years. And my mindset, I guess I grew up basically as a Canadian, with a bit of a British foundation and a Canadian. It's like a British foundation with a Canadian house built on top of it. And that house has then been moved to a different location. So for me, it's 5 years in England, 30 years in Canada, and now 34 years here in Japan. So, you know, who am I, where do I belong, and all that kind of stuff. I don't really care about that thing. But as far as rooting for teams goes, I guess it's my choice. I can pick and choose from any of the three, I suppose. So Dave's a bandwagon man here. He doesn't know anything about rugby, but I'll happily wear this shirt today if it gives me a chance to lord it over anybody with a green shirt or a red shirt. Okay, here we go. Last one. Okay, that's all. He did quite a small batch of prints. You know, I think there was only 40 in the full batch. I did some of this embossing yesterday. He himself, because he's moonlighting at home, he does not really want big, large batches of prints from us because he works all day at his other job printing, and he wants a rather light job that he can do at home. So he asked for only about 40 sheets here, which is normally, it's not even worth getting your pigment balls all mixed. There we are, Ukiyo Heroes Suri Taro. Okay, that job's done. Those can go to Jed. These prints will now, they can't go into our shop directly, they have to go to Jed for signing. Of course, all the Heroes prints get signed and sealed by the designer, by Jed-san. Okay, now, something else. Let's get cleaned up here. The next session today. Oh, before I forget, we do have a small show and tell today. So remind me, I know Cameron won't be here because it's the weekend, but we do have a small, mildly interesting show and tell. It'll take 10 minutes or so, whatever, to show you. Not even that long. So if you remind me at the end here. You got the things for making cookies. That's usually katsura, the wood. It's okay, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, molds for cookies. Yes, the paper is out. The paper is out. Okay, what we have here. What we have here. This is one of the blocks from the old Doi Hanga company. Those of you who know the backstory know what's going on with that stuff. The Doi Hanga company published prints through the 1920s, maybe, I don't know, when did they start? 20s and 30s, 1930s, 40s, 50s. And they published woodblock prints. Their main artist was a guy called Koitsu. But they also did a bunch of stuff by a Japanese painter called Imoto Tekiho. Imoto, I-M-O-T-O, Tekiho. There's some stuff out there on the interwebs. And they did a whole bunch of small postcards. They did a big business in Christmas cards and gift cards and postcards back in the pre-war period. There was actually quite a flourishing tourist business in Japan back at the time, 1930s. It was luxury liners, steamships, came from Seattle and San Francisco, came over to Yokohama and Kobe in Japan, down on the way to Shanghai and Hong Kong and various points down south. It was a big tourist business, and one of the things they sold to tourists were Japanese woodblock prints, of course. So the Doi Hunger Company specialized in stuff that was for these tourists. And what we have here today is a block to produce this. This is a pair of prints, woodblock prints. This is printed yesterday by Dei-chan as a sample. Dei-chan's next job will be to print a bunch of these for us. They're going to go into our Hunger Club collection. If it's 15 centimeters, be careful. You're going to go to our Hunger Club collection, and she did a test printing with this yesterday, and it turns out that the blocks look really useful. They're not warped. Some of these old Doi blocks are warped or split or popped or just totally, absolutely worn out. This print maybe wasn't such a big bestseller for them, so lots of the small fine lines are still visible and it looks usable. So she did a test print for me yesterday, and we are going to give this one a go, put it into production. There's a small problem in that the size is 15.5 centimeters tall, which means it may not fit inside our Hunger Club boxes. It's going to be 16 centimeters tall, which is going to be really a problem for us. But we'll sort that out when we get to it. Anyway, she did the test print. Long story short, geez, I ramble too much, Yeah, we're going to zoom in a minute. Stand a second. I just want to show you this thing first. And it turns out that the block is good, but there are a few places where it has worn a bit on both of these faces. Let me try and get in there. If I can now zoom and show you what's going on. See these bumps here? This is actually supposed to be carved stuff. That's these things in the water here. And some of them have blur around them a bit too much. And look at this, for example. There's supposed to be the bamboo is supposed to have little joints, the little dark joints that in the bamboo. And some of them, the block is worn so much that the thing is spread out. So I have to take care and recarve. Look at this one, look at this one. See the node in the bamboo? The bottom node is fine. The upper node is just spread out too much. So I've got to look at this test print she did yesterday, get this block here, and try and trim back some of these places. And yeah, it's monochromatic. Yeah, it's all done in grey. And when I was chatting with her yesterday about this, I was thinking maybe we should put a couple of tints of blue or something in here. But no, we did that and it looked a bit strange. So we're just going to go with the grey. It's Imoto Tekiho. Somebody found it? Yeah, John Becker, of course, found it. Yeah, thank you, thank you. And the style is what they call nanga. It was a Japanese style of painting from, I don't know, Meiji, late Edo into early Meiji or something. And I guess probably continued up to maybe the Second War or something. It was never a respected style because it was sort of just a blatant copy of Chinese fuzzy landscapes. But there it was. Okay, I better get to work here. So what I'm basically going to be doing here is just going back and forth. Let's get the thing lined up. Hang on a second. I'm right here. The parts where it's worn most are the slightly isolated parts like this. When you get in the middle here, the brush strokes across it, and because there's so many lines in that zone, the impact of the brush on each part is not so strong. But as soon as you get isolated parts, that's the parts that start to get worn from the brush motion. There's very little wear from the barrel pressing the paper, but there's a lot of wear from the brush press. So my job now is to try and get through this thing and identify the places where it's blurred out. Like here, the third bamboo in from the end, the node there is too much on the right side. So third bamboo node up, too much on the left side. And just trim this back. And it's a bit funny each time I do this sort of thing. I think about this wood. This is a piece of wood that was carved, I don't know, 1925, 1932, somewhere in there. Don't know the exact date. And here I am now, hacking away at it. And that little piece of wood I just chipped away just now and flew off my desk there. That's a piece of wood that's been sitting there for nearly 100 years. And I'm just throwing it away. Oh no, I want to stay with my friends. No, no. I have a heron print. What are we talking about here? Questions. I mean, we have some larger prints. I should have brought one over. My camera's not here today to bring one. But in our set of prints, we have some larger Oban-sized prints. The Doi Hunger Company published these, not just for the Christmas cards and stuff, but they did publish some larger prints by Tikio. And the ones we have from them were printed in the 1990s by Seki-san. And they've never really been really strong sellers, so Doi Hunger still has some stuff left over from that era. And those are the ones we have in our shop. This wood is dry. It would really be easy to chip this, because this wood is dry. It's funny too, we can see where somebody has done this before. There are some chop marks here where someone's put a knife into this. I am not the first person to walk this path of fixing these blocks. Who was that? Could have been Harada-san, I guess. He was the main Doi Hunger carver, fixer, patcher-upper in the post-war period. So yeah, it was probably Harada-san. He was the last guy to get his knife on these blocks. He wouldn't have done the original carving, I think. That would have been pre-war. So yeah, same thing. If it was Harada-san, he would have done it on this same bench, because I'm using Harada-san's bench right now. Yeah, this is dry wood, really easy to chip. I have to be careful here. It's very, very dry. How many blocks are in the set? I don't really know. I think my quick guess here is 3 pieces of wood both sides. It could be 4. I don't remember. I'm sorry. I unwrapped it and gave it to Rei-chan yesterday, but she's the one who did the test printing, so I haven't worked through this set. So. Doing this, of course, as a carver, it makes me think, I've got my own blocks out there, for example, the rickshaw cart print and all the heroes and stuff like that. Those blocks will eventually start to get, worn here and worn there and worn down. And you don't just toss them out all at once. There's, doing what I'm doing right now. You can recarve out some of the parts that have become a bit too shallow. So it's not just a question of tossing out a block set. You can work on it for a while before it becomes unusable. So who will be doing the recarving on all the blocks I did for I don't know. Maybe it'll be me the first time around. Or I guess so. When the Great Wave set starts to need maintenance, I'll do that myself, I suppose. Well, it'll be our in-house people, John San or Kawasaki. Maybe Casey, Talon Casey, he's working at Asuka Sensei's place. He'll be a carver. Wouldn't that be fun? A guy from Britain coming over and fixing old man Dave's blocks. This is hard for me to see, black on black is tough. You're probably not seeing much of this either, but neither can I, so we're both in the same boat here. Great Wave, how many have gone out the door? I don't have the number at my fingertips. I'm sorry, I don't know. Are we at 1,500? We're more than that? 1,500 or 1,600, somewhere around there. When we got to 1,000, I pulled the blocks back from my Yamamoto-san, and I did some scans and checks to see how it was doing. So I checked at 1,000, and when we get closer to 2,000, I'll check again, see how she's doing. I think we're around 1,500 or so. I check the prints, of course, as they come in, and the current batches of prints that keep coming from Yamamoto-san, they're fine. There's no visible, nothing that anybody would be able to see on the wood itself. The blocks, I'm sure, are starting to show some rounding on the text and on various points that stick up and stuff. But there's no visible problem on the blocks, on the prints. Let's see what's in there. This looks clean. There we are, this one. The right hand print, smaller bamboo, lots of fuzziness on the right hand side. Right hand print, smaller bamboo, fuzziness. Left, right hand print, smaller bamboo, fuzziness on that side. Okay. It's hard to see black on black. harder to carve because it's dry. The wood is physically easy to carve. It's very, very lightweight. There's no, what the Japanese word is nebari. Nebari ga nai. There's not much nebari. I know. On a normal piece of wood, there's a couple of things. There's water content, how wet or dry it is. Then there's the stuff, what is it, inside the wood? There's rosins and sap and stuff like that, even inside a dry piece of wood. There's stuff in there. It's not totally brittle and dried out in a normal block we carve. But a block like this, which is 100 years old, around 100 years old, and also which hasn't been printed now for decades and decades and decades. It's winter here in Japan now, it's dry. This thing is dry. It probably rings like a bell, actually. It probably sounds like music. Like if I could, yeah. You can hear it. You could make a xylophone out of this thing, chop it up and the thing would actually ring. It's really got a nice feel, but it is dry. So if I'm not careful, it will just splinter away and crumble. Once she gets printing, it'll be okay. She'll put water, water-based ink on this, and she'll be printing. But at the moment, as I sit here chopping at it, it is very, very brittle. Let's send up in those leaves. Yeah, so it's a right-hand front. I can't do leaves. I can't even see what I'm doing here. Black on black. I'm sorry if it's not too visible for you guys. Excuse me. It's a job I've got to do this morning. She's coming to print this thing today, so. We had a little bit of an impromptu sort of a party last night. I was in the shop down here last night till about 7. And when I closed up the shop and went upstairs, I found the gang up there, the printers who had been here, Sugu-san, Dei-chan, and who else was it, Kawai-san. They'd been printing upstairs. Instead of heading home, they had gone to the kitchen up on the top floor there, the place where I normally do the sizing. And they'd started to make some stew, some nabe. Aoyama-san, they'd run out to buy some food and some beer. There was a very tiny, small-scale, impromptu celebration. Because yesterday, November the 1st, that was our 5th anniversary here. Our Asakusa shop has been open for 5 years. And it was no big deal, no giant party. Most of the employees weren't here. You can't call them in just for a little thing like that. But the ones who were here had taken the time and trouble just to get a little dinner ready up there. And we toasted ourselves with a bit of beer and ate some stew, some nugget. A few of them took a couple of pictures. It was funny. I'm not sure if I should say something like this, but it's in my head. As we sat there, we took these pictures, and it was totally informal. It wasn't an actual formal party with signs and banners, and here we are, a special 5th anniversary, blah, blah, blah. But we took a couple of pictures around the table there. And as they were taking pictures and chatting with themselves, I was sitting thinking, and there's a book out there that I've got. It's called The New Wave. And it's a research type book that chronicles some of the early parts of the Shinhanga era, when Shinhanga prints were first being created in Japan. And there's a picture in there somewhere of some kind of party. And there's Watanabe-san, and I guess maybe Ito Shinsui, whatever, some of the people who were involved in the early Shinhanga work and stuff like that. And there's a photograph, and then there's this key that shows you, here's number 1, number 2, number 3, who these people are, And it was a totally unpretentious, non-posed, blah, blah picture, And as they were taking the pictures last night and chatting with each other and whatever, and I sat there thinking, at some point, 100 years from now, there's going to be some book talking about the the small-scale revival of Shinhanga that happened in the early part of the 21st century, the stuff we're doing. And there'll be a picture like this in there with some Dave in the background with a can of beer in his hand. And then the printers, Suga-san and Kawai-san and Ishikawa-san, are the printers who helped create this new genre. I didn't say anything to the kids, but just because they didn't really realize, or they don't think in those terms, But the kind of prints we're making today, I really think there's a bit more of a historical importance to them than these guys understand. We'll see. I shouldn't think too much about that stuff. Just make the prints and the rest can take care of itself. Okay, I think this boat needs trimming here. Certainly this one, yeah, there's all kinds of fuzzy stuff inside that boat. I think it's on the other side of this. Yeah, blurred out. But for you guys, I'm sorry, it's black on black. Nay, look at this. Can you see anything? I don't know. Do I remember the very first print sold from the shop? You mean the Asakusa shop or Mokuhankan itself? I don't remember the print, but I remember who. We were going to open on November 1st. We got the key to this place September 1st, and we had originally thought it would take about 1 month to do the construction. Ha ha ha, it didn't. It took a couple of months. But also towards the end of the construction, or in the middle of October, we realized that we were just spending day after day after day, just doing next to nothing, fiddling with trim and stuff like this, and we were sort of postponing to do this. So one day we just look, we got a week, let's do this. Let's call November 1st, the opening date. We blogged about it, Facebooked about it, stuff like that. And then we got busy with the last few days. And we had already opened the website by that time to take print party reservations for November, November and December. There was no reservations for October because we were still doing the construction. And we got an email one day from a family, Jeffrey Fasheski. And he said, Dave, I really want to do this, but we're leaving the morning of November 1st. But can you fit us in somehow? So I wrote back to him and said, well, tell you what, if you want to come over the afternoon of October 31st or something, we won't be ready. We'll still be, blah, blah, blah. But he says, yeah, cool by us. So Jeffrey came with his wife and his mother, and they were the first print party people here in our shop. I had done some print parties privately in Ome as part of the Kickstarter campaign, but this was the first print party in the shop on October 31st. And I did a print party with him this before the Momotaro print was even carved, so we must have done the cat bus or something, I don't remember. And meanwhile, the helpers were unpacking prints in the shop. We'd sent some stuff over from Ome to try and get ready. So yeah, they did the print party, and then they bought a few prints in the shop. So that was our first ever sale. It's in the books, it's in the records here. And then the next morning, we opened up. And looking, the other day we were, getting things ready for this 5th anniversary thing for the caption contest. And I checked our print party reservations for this month with our print party reservations for November 2014. And I don't remember the number off the top of my head, but I think 6 people had reserved a party. I think we did 6 print parties in November 2014. It was Death Valley. Nobody came. Nobody knew about us, of course, whatever. It took quite a while to get going. And now we're sold out. The print parties are booked up, sold out. The prints. There was somebody here, was it yesterday? A guy who had been here before came in, and he was a bit disappointed yesterday. He bought a couple of prints, but he said, geez, where is all the stuff? And I said, we're on the verge of selling out. He says, why don't you make some more? Why don't I make some more? Yeah. Gee, I never thought of that. I never thought of that. Any concern about having the nice sharp lines among the rest of the lines that are not sharp? No. What we're doing here, again, I don't know if we can get close enough to see this. I know I don't know if we can get close enough. Let's see what we were doing. Like just now, for example, can you maybe see this? It's a double print. They've cropped it twice, but look here, for example, this little bamboo thing coming up here. It's a piece of bamboo, and there's some sort of leafy sprouts coming off it. And here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. Clean, clear. The other one on the other print, I don't know if you can see it, it had worn a bit more. Can you see it? There's a bit of fuzziness. See here, look, the dirty fuzziness here. That's coming from the paper being pressed down into the area that shouldn't be showing. So what I just did a moment ago, I cut this. I cut away here and around those leaves. So that particular leaf might be a tiny bit sharp, but it's okay. You can see what this is, you know. This little leaf looks sharp. So there's no big deal here. What I did a few minutes before that, this thing is sticking out. Just I trimmed it back so that it may look more like this. So no, there's no conflict with what I'm doing here. I won't be looking at, oh my God, this is so sharp. Also, I cut this a few minutes ago. See here, there's 2 pieces of leaves, there's a black blob in the middle. That will now be gone. And then what I'm about to do now in a few minutes, just now, this sail. See the sail on the boat on one side? Between the ribs of the sail, it's sort of fairly clean at the bottom. It's a bit dirty up there. The other boat here, it's clean at the bottom. Look at this, quite a mess. So what I'm going to do right now when I put this tool down is I'm going to clean out some of this sunken mess between these ribs. So the ribs at the top of the sail will be as clean as the ribs at the bottom of the sail. So no, there's going to be no distortion in the finished print here. If the original carver had gone just a bit deeper, we wouldn't have this problem now, but it's okay. You do what you can do. You can carve it to the standard. My God, it's difficult to see, you know. Show the outside of that. What's that supposed to look like? It's a festival day here today. There's going to be a Nebuta festival here in Saksa today and tomorrow. Maybe through to Monday as well, I'm not sure the dates. It's one of those borrowed festivals. Nebuta is a festival up in, is it Aomori? I forget, Hirosaki, Aomori. It's a major festival up in the northern Tohoku area. But they do a sort of a rented version. They send people and floats and festival stuff down to Asakusa here and do it every year. And today and tomorrow is the day it's going to be happening. There will be huge, beautiful colored festival floats coming through the district late afternoon and evening. And you can probably find lots of video about it. And in fact, I did some video about this a few years ago. If you Google for Asakusa Nebuta or Neputa, it's spelled either way, sometimes interchangeably. If you search for some video, Asakusa Nebuta Festival, you'll find some video. And that's happening today from around, 5 o'clock or something. It starts to get darker. And the floats come right down our street here. They come right in front of our shop here. And these are high floats that are like up to the second story and stuff. The whole district, they removed all the overhead wires along the streets years ago in order to make this festival happen. And quite high, quite large scale. I mean, up in the real festival in Amori, they have giant things like 4 or 5 story high floats. These are the ones that are made from like paper painted things with lights inside. Oh, conversation. Huh? What's this? Yesterday's talk? I don't remember. I don't know about this idea of clipping and preserving, whatever. Anything I just say off the top of my head gets preserved as the voice. Well, I'll be streaming the festival. I hadn't thought about it. It's really kind of busy. It'll be happening here 4, 5, 6 o'clock, and it's going to be pretty busy in the shop at that time. So I can't promise that I'll be streaming any of this stuff. When we make a woodblock for printing, what's the issue with copyright or intellectual property? I know in the case of this block here now, at the time they published this print, the publisher and the designer must have made a deal, paid a royalty or whatever. I have no idea what they did. The publisher may have paid a fee for outright use of it forever and ever, or they may have had a royalty deal. It's irrelevant because at the moment, the designer of this, he has been dead for more than 50 years. Which means there's no copyright in the image anymore. Compare this, for example, with one of the woodblocks for one of the ukiyo-e heroes. I've got this woodblock and possession of the block, because the image is public domain, I can do whatever I want with this, print copies and sell them. If I suddenly came into possession of one of the ukiyo-e heroes blocks, well, I have them, but I mean, yeah, if you suddenly came into possession of one of the ukiyo-e heroes blocks, you have the physical block, and you can print it and look at it, but you cannot sell those things because the intellectual property, the IP, the copyright in the image, belongs to Jed Henry. So he and I have a shared deal, of course. I physically own the blocks, he owns the copyright. And together we have a deal where we agree to make these things and sell them, and we both get compensated for it. In this case, because the image is public domain, there's no copyright issues. There is a question of who owns the physical block. Now, I don't own this. We are borrowing it from the lady who is the granddaughter of the original publisher of the Doi Hunger Company. And this is her block. So she says, tell you what, Dave, take it over there, print some copies from it, and pay us a royalty for each one that you print. And I say, sure. But the artist at this point is out of the question because the image is in the public domain. Where was I? We're looking for more fuzzy areas here. It wasn't the Doi Hanga workshop, it was the Doi Hanga publishing company. They had no workshop, they had no room full of carvers and full of printers. They were a publishing company that hired out everything to outside craftsmen. The Watanabe company and the Adachi company run it a different way. They have upstairs, hidden away, chained to their benches, they have craftsmen, as does Moko Hankan. So we are a publisher slash workshop. The Doi Hanga company was just a publisher. Anyway, so I need to look for more places here that are fuzzy, that need to be trimmed. Somebody said something about that a minute ago. The big stalk to the left of one is fuzzy in the center. Let's have a look at this. There's the big stalk. And there's stuff in here. Is it design or is it crap? I don't know. Some of those look like design elements. Let's take a look. How does it compare with this one? Look at this. This is dirt. See that? All the black marks in the middle there. There are some design elements. Click, click, leaves and stuff. Okay, here we are. So the right hand print, the stalk next to the border, has lots of garbage. Let's have a look. That's the other side of this thing. That's the registration mark. So this is the right hand print. There's the stalk. Let's have a look and see. So this area should be shadowed out. Let's take a look at it. Okay, up to the triangle is clear. There's nothing in there. Above the triangle, there's 3 dots. There's our triangle, 3 dots. Okay, so this whole area can come out clear. These two are really shallow. Let's get this one right here. footsteps going up the stairs. It must be, is it A-chan coming in, I guess? No idea. Oh, that reminds me. Going up the stairs. The last couple of days we've had a problem. Cameron noticed it first. Cameron's sitting in his office upstairs there. And I went up to do something or talk to him or see something. He says, Dave, what do you think about the smell? And I'm like, yeah, actually, now that you mention it, there is something. It looks like we have another dead mouse or something, a dead rat. We had this before, a couple of months back. Cameron's office, there's, the rats are here at play up in the rafters and up in the beams out where we can't see them and stuff, And it was really a vivid, awful smell in the room where he's working. So what we did was we got some sort of deodorizer, bomb thing. And we lifted up one of the ceiling panels and put the deodorizer up top, and whoop, like there must have been a rat that sort of died up there or something. I don't know, we can't really tell. We can't get up there. There's no access, human scale size stuff. And it seemed to work because the smell sort of faded away. Either because of the deodorization or the thing just got eaten or mummified or whatever. Anyway, so long story short, this happened again a few days ago. And we noticed it in the stairwell, the stairs that go up to the second floor here. And it became quite vivid. These days, because we're not using the shop up there. Ooh, who came in? So the stairs right now. And that's where the smell was the last couple of days. And obviously there was again the same problem. And then Aoyama-san yesterday afternoon remembered, hey Dave, we put rat traps up there. We put the rat traps under the stairs here up top. Let's take a look at them, maybe. And that's exactly what it was. I got my gloves on yesterday, right here, behind here. I went in and moved the garbage cans out of the way, looked around, got my flashlight. Bingo, there it was. We've got these sheets with sort of sticky stuff on them. And there it was. There was a rat, and he must have maybe 1 week ago or 2 weeks ago or quite a while ago, must have got stuck there. And he was in an advanced stage of decomposition. That's Ishikawa-san. Good morning. Hello. Huh? T-shirts っていいないでしょ Sports shirt. Did you see? 今夜いい面白いすごい面白い経験あったよ。イギリスのファンから送ったでしょ。なんか聞いたよ昨日山田君と。すごい高いものでしょ。12,000円。本物。だからもうこれからなんか送らないとダメですから。ですが、もうすごい面白い経験。僕ラグビーわかりますか？ルールとかコマが全然わかりませんが、昨日聞いて、道の外でちょっと立ったんですね。
そしたら？
もう面白い。頑張ってね。ですが、向こうのホテルから赤いシャツ、本物、これはラグビーのロゴとウェールズの、ウェールズからのファンです。
どうした？
だから分かりますね。イギリスと南アフリカは1、2、ウェールズとニュージーランドが3、4。彼がホテルから出たんですが、僕はニコですから彼がしょうがない。
どうした？こうやってやった？
外から歩くだけで顔だけちょっと私はなんか
やりません。ここトレトレですよ。やりませんよラグビーは。
多分大ファンですね。僕は何も分かりません。
分かりません。
でももしこのシャツだけを用意すると
仲間になる。
ステータスでしょ。
そっか。本当はね。
そう。
ここ見てって言えばこれ。ライバルじゃないよ。こ見てトロトロだよ。
本当に面白い。で昨日
でもあそこでやったお客さんなんでしょ？プリントパーティーやっただけの客。
5人グループですね。
その時にラグビーの話したの？
いやもちろんラグビーの見るためにイギリスから来ましたんでしょ。
そんなお客さん。
そうです。で最初にプール時ですね。イギリスがこれから行くか帰るか、イギリスが勝ったんですから、じゃあ旅行中の人たちがじゃあ伸ばしたんです。そうなの。ホテルを探して、じゃあ2ヶ月旅行になったんでしょ。
いくらや。
そうだから私はじゃあどうやって仕事から2ヶ月離れることできますか？どのような社長ですか？彼が行く前に僕会社を売ったばっかりです。
そのためにまさかのすごい。
多分お金持ちか分からない。
本当はね。
だから彼が山田君と話した。山田君がシャツが欲しかったんですから、イギリスもここにあるものが全部ソールドアウト。だからそうですか。はい。で頭の中に入って。
そう。 あら
向こうから
本当
頼んで僕と山田さん
へえそうへえ地場で入れてね
いや
うわーすごい
今日山田君もあっちこっち歩いてる今夜勝ちが、負ける
あそうだよねそうだよねすごいすごいへえ
ともう一つだけで今階段の間に匂いありますが、亡くなったネズミの匂い昨日の夜見つかった
あ本当
と片付けましたそうもう2種どれか分かるそう私たちが用意した
あれ
板ですね、ゴムが入ったもの板この中
そんなの引っかかってた
そう使ったでも
そして腐ってたよね少し
そう昨日見たんですよもし山田君がギャギャギャギャギャ山田君がギャギャギャギャギャ渋さんも OK 僕じゃあ手袋を用意して僕と渋さんが
柴ちゃんは大丈夫ですはいやばい
今ちょっとの匂いがまだ残ってますがもうこれからクリーンになりますけどごめん sorry excuse me what there she goes upstairs she's a nice lady she's been working for us since what 2011 or 2012 a normal housewife type lady but she's now a beautifully professional printer beautiful professional printer uh, 914 Chantal okay look at this. Jock has found some picture. Oh my God. Have I misremembered this? Whatever. Yeah. Picture of an old drinking, whatever. There's Shozaburo-san, there's Ito-san, there's blah, blah, blah. And it's just funny for me to think, well, that pictures we took last night, I don't even have them. The staff has them. They will just go out into the world somewhere. But at some point when the history of this stuff is being written, I shouldn't think about this stuff, but it's true, you know. We're making some fabulous prints. We're doing groundbreaking stuff. We've invested money and time and resources, and we've created something new and interesting. At some point, tip in and send Dave a new mic. Actually, it's a high-quality Zoom H2 recorder. If it's not good sound, it's because I'm misusing it. Or it's because Ishikawa-san just blew it out with her voice. I don't know. Who knows? Okay, show and tell. As I said, it's not a giant big deal. It's a kind of an interesting, cute little show and tell. Oh, Watanabe, Watabayashi-san.今ちょうど渡辺の話あったんですけど、ごめん、Watabayashi-さん。
あ、すごい。イングランド。ああ。おー、ブルー。ああ、すごい。
すごい。
どうしたんですか？
イギリスの客から。
送ってきたの？
そうです。
ああ、すごい。ナイスプレゼント。
ナイスプレゼント、そう。
ね
だって山田君と私。
おお。
渡辺さんのものがありませんが。
あ、すごい。
そう、5周年、昨日。5 years. Anyway, ちょっとごめん。Okay. Yeah, like I said, the mic is okay. The gain, and we've got a lot of miles out of the shirt. That's the way it went, you know. So, yeah, I think this is it. Ishikawa-san has got rather a penetrating voice, and we've got the mic set up so that it picks up a nice room ambience. And when she stands too close to it, boy, it overloads. So we have clipping on it. It can handle my mallet, but it can't handle her voice. Okay, here we are. It's this is, again, I said, nothing special, nothing rich, nothing, oh my God, a once-in-a-lifetime. What do you think it is from the shape? It's 4 woodblock prints inside here. What do you think it is? Maybe if I was just looking at this, I would guess, okay, it's a bunch of small sort of match label Senshaffner type prints. No, not at all. They are, let me pull it out of here. We opened it yesterday. It's no surprise to me. I know it's in it. We opened it yesterday. The guy mailed it just like this, you know. It could so easily have gone, whatever. That's the way people do. They don't know what they've got. What's happening here? I hear voices. Oh, it's Kawai-san. He's here. Okay. Is it that time? They are not Senshaffner. You would think, though. They look like maybe 2 Senshaffner, one up. This could be a Nicho Senshaffner. It is not. They are not. Here they are. They are what you would generically call tanzaku. A genre that when you buy paper and stuff for this size, the lady of the house would use them for writing poetry, cards like this. And you see what we've got here. This is a reference to the Tanabata Summer Festival, where they put up bamboo and people hang things on them with wishes or good welcoming or whatever, or poetry or whatever. And these are 4 woodblock prints. They've unfortunately been glued to a backing sheet, and I can solve that very simple with the application of some warm water, but we'll leave it there for a while. And what we have here, somebody's written on the back, Kawaii Gyokudo Nihonga. Watabashi-san, can you help me read some of these, please? What do we have here? We have Maruyama, that's a place in Kyoto, Maruyama Shijo, this is a Kyoto address,
はい。
And then, Tomi, Higashi, what are we reading here?
東、ここちょっとわからない。
これもわからないですね。そう。
これは教授っていう名前だと思う。
Somebody's name. そうかな。
教授プロフェッサーで。
あ、そうか。This is 川井玉。
川端玉章。
あ、川端はそもそも玉章。日本が。川井玉とじゃない。Okay, I'm misremembering. It's a set of 4 here. Take a look. It's a set of 4 Tanzaku prints.
あと丸山市場派ですね。だからスクールなんか。
あ、日本画のスクールですか？
そうだと思います。派っていう字ですね。なんとか派とか。
Okay. And there it's a set of, like, seems like a set of 4. Is it seasonal or not? I don't know. What have we got here? We have summer. This is Tanabata summer. This is New Year spring. This is ume. We have here, come on, plant.
Those festival だから3月ですね。3月。
Spring. So this isn't clearly 4 seasons. This would be what? Just a bare pine. Okay, so it's not simply 4 seasons. It's a set of 4, so it could be part of a larger set, かな？
そうですね。
But they are seasonal, really. This is clearly 7月、七夕でしょ？ This is ひな祭り、3月。
3月。
これは何？この意味は何なんですか？
梅が咲いてる。梅って2月ぐらいですよね。
梅ですね。これは何のために？
でも正月におみくじ引いて縛った梅の木に花が咲いたかな。
そうするとこの松とかこの季節分からないですよ。どの季節でも OK ですね。
4枚ですか
？4枚ですね。そう。面白いことですね。I should speak English so these people understand it. They're from a larger set, but there's a very interesting thing I see on the back of one of these. If I can find it here. Look at this. Look what they've done. This is a woodblock print, one of a larger set. And whenever you've got a set of something, you're trying to think of, how do I display this? What do I do with it? And with our small prints, we've got the stands and stuff we make. But look at this. On the back of this, somebody has put a piece of paper like this, and they glued a piece of paper like this. You get what was happening here? And I'm sure they have got some kind of wall mounting or wall panel. And the panel hangs on the wall, and these things here, they slip into a little loop that's on the wall hanging. So you can take them out of the hanging. You can see, imagine if it was here. So the wall hanging is there, but it's got 2 loops on it. And these things on the back, they slip into that loop. So you can put this on display. Take it out, put it back in the pack, grab another one, and put it up in there.
Yes.
I'm sure that's what it was. And the other ones, it's been torn off. It's too bright in the light there. You can see. Somebody has torn off that thing somewhere along the way. And yet one of the prints has that little loop thing. No, not the loop thing, the little thing. And this is an interesting idea that I've learned, and we are going to very much keep this in mind. We've got our prints, the seasonal prints that we do, the sets that we do. We always need to create some kind of display for it, because we don't want the prints in frames. We don't want the prints in frames all the time, and we don't want them hidden away all the time. People want to display the stuff. So this is an idea that we are very much going to look at and study and think about. It means you've got to glue something to the back of the print, but it's just a tiny little dab of glue there. It's not really invasive. The print could live with that. And it means you could then display it. So I'm going to keep this in mind, very much so. Kitty, show. You know, it's Kyoto style stuff, imitation of painting. It's not smooth, flat woodblock printing. You can see, for example, this tree branch here. This is all woodblock, but when you look at this, it's darker, lighter, darker, lighter, darker, lighter. They've printed it with a brush and they've dabbed and blabbed and splattered paint on it rather than try to print it exactly smoothly. So it's got much more of a painted than this. You can see that maybe they printed it first in light gray, then printed it again and just dabbed with a brush on the block here and there, just to give it a rough, painterly feeling. A lot of extra work, totally different work. Here, you can see it on the same one. Look at this. These branches, these have been printed twice. Once in base gray to give a flat tone, and then once the printer's taken this brush and he splashed pigment here, splash, 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 splash. And that gives it the feeling. When you do it with the brush, it's dark, and it gradually goes out to being lighter as you make your brush stroke. And they've imitated this. So it's dark, going to light, dark, going to light, dark, going to light. And it needed 2 impressions.
Yes.
Very soft and tasty. So.
葉っぱも leaves are so beautiful.
So, and again, this isn't a delicate, careful gradation. This is a splashed on bang bang. But they've done it with each one. Look at this, you know. Someone's gone to the time and trouble. Oh my God, look at this. You print it first base paint, then you do it again. Before this dries, quick print. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 extra strokes on the block, all before it dries.
綺麗
Cute. Very much Kyoto. A Kyoto ethic and a Kyoto approach to this.
これは桃ですね。桃の節句っていうから宇宙梅、桃、
竹、バンブでしょ。そう。And the last one,
サーバンブじゃないのか。
So my guess is maybe there was 12 in the set, and you could arrange it. This is not a 4 seasons set, absolutely. So my guess is there would have been 12, one for every month, or 6 maybe, you know, one every 2 months throughout the year.
Thank you.
So there we have it. A nice little item that goes in our collection. It's a broken set, but it doesn't matter. It's pleasant to look at. Shows a nice bunch of nice woodblock print techniques. And also maybe we will learn some things here from an idea, especially about displaying our own print sets in the future. I'm very interested about that idea at the back. If anybody's got any ideas about how to use that, we want to display prints without spoiling them, sticking them in albums. Okay, I had better get out of here. There's 3 of us here on print buddy duty today, Kawai-san, Watabashi-san, and me, and it's fully booked, and we are going to have ourselves a very, very busy day. It's festival outside too. I don't think I'll have a chance to show that to you, but if you Google around Asakusa Nebuta, you will find some information on it. And then tonight is the big game. Like I know anything about this. Okay guys, it's Saturday morning here. I'll see you Monday morning, same time, same station. I actually haven't a clue what kind of work I'll be doing on Monday, but we'll see. We'll think of something before then. Thanks very much now. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye. I've got to get to that, do some real work. Streaming instruction. Thanks again, guys. Bye-bye.